Okay, welcome to another lunchtime video. I'm really enjoying going through this learning path, this set of tutorials from real Python. So that's good news because that means lunchtime videos. I'm really motivated to get through this. So in the last video, we finished a section of the tutorial. So the next section is going to be deploying and promoting to staging and production. But the one we finished was implementing deployment workflow, but flow. But unfortunately, we had to stop it um, before we could get all of the code snippets to work. So I want to spend the possibly the full hour um, troubleshooting that and really understanding why it's not working. I think what's going on is we can see some of the commands don't really make sense if we look at like the icons that were in the prior section. So the prior section here was understanding the deployment development. So, as far as I understand it, it's all pretty clearly shown in this diagram. We've got the development, then we deploy from development to staging, and then we promote from staging to production. So if we go down here to these commands, um, so this might make sense because we're creating this repo and then we're giving it the remote value of staging, so it's going to go here. But what doesn't make sense to me is a command down here where um, we have a promote pipeline, but yet we're promoting staging. So I don't know if that means we're going to promote the staging and then it automatically knows to take it to production, or if that's incorrect and it's supposed to be promote production. We're supposed to give it the name of where it ends up. So we're going to go back and do those commands again and see if we can have better luck with them this time and see if there's an error in this tutorial. Before moving on, I will go down and see if there's uh, comments. Okay, so I don't see any comments. Oh, I do see some comments. So let's see in the comments if there's any uh, errata that is submitted, if somebody else found an error with this. Now I can't search through the comments, it looks like, unfortunately. Let's click on this real Python. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so we're in the right tab here. We want to be in the comments tab. And then ideally we'd like to search. But first of all, let's get the error that we were making, and then we'll Google based on the verbiage in that actual error message. Or we'll search the comments, and then if we don't find anything in the comments, we'll do a Google search for it. Okay, but I'm going to go back through and enter all of the commands from that section again, unless it seems pretty clear that the command wouldn't need to be entered again. But even then, I can try entering again and see if I get like an error message or something. So we're going to go back through the section from the last video and recreate these commands. Okay, this might have been the problem too. It looks like I haven't been pushing, so maybe that will take care of it there. But let's go through everything again. So we're going to do a Heroku, then we'll do a Heroku status. Um, Mitigation reply. Okay. All right, so that looks like a status that's just relevant to Heroku itself, not my particular project. So let's do Heroku config and see if we can get information about my particular projects. Oh, so it looks like I've got multiple apps in Get Remotes. So because of this, we can't determine which app you want to run this command against. Specify the app you want with dash app or dash remote. Okay, so we're going to need to get rid of, it looks like there's a duplicate here. There's a duplicate. There's one with prod and there's one with Heroku that have the same name, so they can't tell which one I want. So we're going to have to remove one of these. I do have to take a quick break, unfortunately. I'll be back real soon. All right, I'm back. So let's get started. We're going to start with this first command here. Actually, before we start that, let's just go ahead and look at what the tips they're giving me here. That's always the best way to start. A lot of people, I think, are. It's kind of funny. I went to an event on Tuesday, and this has happened to me so many times. Google Maps, and this is a great analogy for troubleshooting that'll help people troubleshoot. Uh, Google Maps, I rely on it all the time. I live in a city where the traffic is just crazy. There's, 4 stories of roads, and you got to know which road to be on, and you got to know to turn left or turn right. But then, without Google Maps, I would not be able to get anywhere. Uh, I would not be able to go anywhere at all. But um, with Google Maps, I feel confident going wherever I want to go in my city. But I'm not 100% confident that I'll be there on time. And the reason for that is once I get to the very end of my trip, once Google Maps tells me which highway to get on, which exit to take, whether the turn, which lane to be in, does all that absolutely perfect, tells me what turns are coming up next. But then once I get to the very end of my trip, and there's very tiny details like, uh, do I park in the lot in the front? Do I park in the lot in the back? How do I get to the lot in the back if the lot in the front is closed? Is the ultimate destination on the left? Is the ultimate destination on the right? Um, is the parking lot that Google is suggesting me to park in private parking only, and I need to look out for signs and park in a designated area that Google doesn't know about. So lots of really small details at the end of a trip are often either just completely absent from my Google instructions or just wrong. In the case of Tuesday, I was actually told to turn left instead of turning right. So I ended up going to the high school instead of the church. And just that one mistake meant I was like 5 minutes late instead of 5 minutes early. So it's the same thing with this. If you now you can think of Googling for a problem kind of the same way as like Google Maps. It'll get you on your way. It'll get you most of the way there. But when it comes to my case, I knew I needed to go to a church and not a high school. So if I just kept my eyes open, if I just looked for signs, I would have seen, oh, the church is on the right, the high school's on the left. I need to go right, even though Google Maps is telling me vocally to go left, but it had like a black line telling me to go right anyway. So even though Google Maps is giving me uh, incomplete, perhaps inaccurate information, if I ignore Google Maps and I just look at what's in front of me, look at signs, look at the street, look at everything, and use that as my source of truth, I'll get there without any problems. Sometimes I think what people have trouble with troubleshooting is they'll go on Google, they'll ask around, and they'll come up with an ultimate answer, and then they'll ignore the actual details on the ground. So yeah, you definitely want to be Googling for things as part of troubleshooting. But I guess the ultimate end of this story is that once you're nearly there, make sure that you're focusing on what's actually here. And even if it differs from what like the guide or tutorial is telling you, this is the actual real world traffic signs, building signs, things that you need to look for. And even if it conflicts with what you're being told from a tutorial or some overarching instruction, this is what you want to focus on. And if and you can make a mistake, and I think personally it's a mistake to ignore it. You'll kind of just go off and do the wrong thing. So we're going to focus on what's here. So okay, so it looks like yeah. So let's do a Heroku, and we'll see if we can do like a Heroku uh, like remove. And we'll remove this one here, the Heroku one, because we want to have prod and staging. That's more clear terminology in my opinion. So let's do a git remote -v to take a look at what our remote repositories are set up as. And yeah, we've got this extra one here. It looks like we've actually got two extra ones. We've got origin as well, um, which is fine, I think, because that's the actual code base. But let's try to get rid of this Heroku one, and then we'll keep the prod one. So we'll do get uh, so it's not a branch, it's a remote location. So we want to remove one of these. So we'll do get remote rm uh, Heroku. Oh, okay. So now we no longer have that duplicate. So let's try the command that we tried before. So we'll do this Heroku config, and hopefully that will be resolved. Oh, so it looks like we've got the same thing pretty much. Huh. All right. Well, I'm not sure what happens there. Yeah, I'm really confused. Let's try just uh, everything again. And I need to adjust this window here. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna create the staging area. So we already created that. Let's try creating it again and see what happens. Okay, so that's what I thought. It's already taken. That's perfectly fine. Then let's get push staging master. Yep, everything's up to date. Okay, and then we'll try this command again. Okay, now this is not the staging, this is the production. Now we'll do prod. This might have been the problem because you can see we've got prod and staging. So the problem might have been that I used the wrong term there. And I'm surprised they're not having that problem because I thought they said to use prod. All right. Okay, let's give this a shot. Now, this is one of the things I've talked about a lot in my JNCI ESP series, naming. I really don't think this is good naming. If this is a pipeline, they should not name it Real Python Example App because it's not an app, it's a pipeline. So they should name this Real Python-example-pipeline. But at this point, yeah. And you can see, sure enough, this is a pipeline. Um, yeah. So this is named incorrectly. It should be named pipeline. So even back here, or here, we're creating a pipeline. So we're creating a pipeline for this app here, and then we name our pipeline. So this is a really bad name for a pipeline because it's saying that it's an app. It's not saying that it's a pipeline. So let's try changing the naming actually. So maybe we can do, hopefully it's intuitive enough so that we can do uh, pipe lines delete and then, yep, so it's intuitive enough to do that. So, so okay, well, never mind. It just automatically did a create. Um, well, that's no good. Try an RM. This is the Linux command for deleting. Did you mean pipelines? No. Okay, so it's going to be remove is the command. See that right here. Okay, so we don't want to remove the app from the pipeline. We want to remove the pipeline itself. Okay, so we got to do destroy. Because we want to create that pipeline using names that really make sense and don't cause such confusion. So do a Heroku help pipelines again. And now we shouldn't have any pipelines now. There should be a like a stat. Yeah, so let's do an info command on that. So Heroku pipelines info. Oh, we need one more argument here. Okay, so we need to give it an actual pipeline. I gave it a pipeline named help, but there is no pipeline named help, so the command failed out. There is no pipeline named question mark, so that failed out as well. So I just want to see which pipelines I have. Oh, here we go. So we can see my pipelines. We don't have any pipelines. So perfect. So let's create a pipeline. And we're going to create a pipeline for our main area where we're going to go to prod, and then after that we'll create a pipeline for our staging area. So we'll do these in the opposite order. And I actually misspoke here. We're going to create one pipeline, um, but uh, we're going to be adding apps to our pipeline. So here we're not creating a pipeline. Here we're creating an app, and it's our staging app. And we can see we gave it this tag or this name so that once we add it to a pipeline, it knows what to do. So here's the uh, yeah, here's the command where we add the staging environment. So we're going to be adding um, yeah. So this is the name of our pipeline. Uh, so we're going to be using a different name that is much better. And you can see you can add this. This is why this is so confusing. I'm kind of a little bit upset at this tutorial for doing that. You can see here we have the command Heroku pipelines :create, then dash dash app, and then at the very end of this command we have the name of our pipeline, which again, if we call this dash pipe or dash pipeline, that's going to be a much better name. This is why I was so confused. Um, but down here, even more confusing, now we have it in the opposite order. We have the name of our pipeline here, and then we have our switches, our options afterwards. So both are legitimate syntax, I believe. So to not use this syntax consistently is really confusing because both commands will work, but for people new to this, they'll be wondering why. So kind of a knock against this tutorial, but so far it's been great. So uh, I think they've earned um, a blip. Okay, so we're creating a pipeline for our app, Graham's Football Warnings, which is the production version of it. Um, uh, I kind of want to name this Graham's Football Warnings dash prod, but um, but I don't know if that will show up in prod, so I'd rather not have that show up in prod. Yeah, so we've got yeah, I think that would show up in prod. So I don't want it to be named that way. We're gonna stick with the original name. We're not gonna call it dash prod because our prod is gonna be this. So we should see yeah, our prod has one exclamation point. We're trying to add two more exclamation points, but we're adding it to the staging area first to make sure it doesn't have any problems, and then we're going to promote it to production. So I'll open up the staging area and the prod area side by side. All right, and then continue on. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to give it is the name of the pipeline. So you can see how confusing this is, dash app. That's not a good name because it's not an app, it's a pipeline. So we'll name it accordingly. So we'll name it Rams Wet Bulb Warnings dash pipeline. Let's delete both of these before we do that. We learned how to do that previously, so let's just use what we learned. So we're going to do Heroku uh, pipelines destroy, and then we'll do this one. Oh, So it's not a pipeline, it's a staging area. So you know what? Let's try to delete um, shoot. Uh, all right, let's just try this with prod. Didn't work. I gave it the name of the app. Oh, I guess this has to be. Oh, no, never mind. All right, that's confusing. Page not found. Oh, okay. That magically worked somehow. I have no idea what's the difference between that command and the one I did previously. All right, so let's take a look. All right, so this is the command that worked. And then let's take a look at the command that didn't work. I think it was. Oh, I just forgot a second P. God. Ah! Okay, I gotta throw something. I'll throw something gently. Um, Here we go. So here's a roll of paper towels that'll be pretty soft. Um, so I'll throw it not too hard, but I have to throw something against the back of the room because all of this trouble was just because I didn't hit the key P, the key P twice. I only hit it once, so I did dash dash AP instead of dash dash APP. That was the only problem. Okay. All right, let's get back at it. Okay, so let's see here. Uh, okay, so we've got a pipeline now, and we've got it set up for the production environment. So let's set it up for the staging environment next. I kind of hit the wall kind of hard because it hit it right on the paper tubing. Oh, there's a mark on the wall, but I doubt it was from that. Okay, so let's go ahead and um, do the so we're going to add another. So now that we've created the pipeline, and we've created it with the production app, and the production stage. We used the term prod. That's okay. We're going to do another one, and we're going to do it. We're going to add one to the pipeline. I mean, we're not going to create another pipeline. We're going to add another app to our existing pipeline. We're going to add the staging app. See, now this is what's confusing me here. I think this might be an error because I think this you can't name it prod. I think you have to name it production, or you have to have this be prod. So I'm not sure. That seems like an error to me. But let's skip that command because I think everything is good in that regard. Let's do Heroku pipelines, add, and then it's going to be network lesson. Oh, not network lessons. Light bulb warnings, and then oh, and then dash pipe because that's the name of our pipeline, and then t two P's this time with the space, and then we're gonna add it for the staging area. Oh my God. Okay, that's a problem. Pipeline not found. I just created it. Where did it go? It said it created it. Yeah, it says that it created it. It's what the heck? Why is it creating it but not creating it? Yeah, it's not finding the pipeline. It doesn't have this pipeline. It says that it's successfully creating it, but it's lying to me because it's not actually creating it. Yeah, there's a whole lot of lying going on here. It says it's creating the pipeline, but it's not actually creating it. Let's just create the pipeline without anything else. So we'll do this command. We'll take out these switches here and see if we can just create the pipeline on its own. Okay, so you can't do that. You have to create, because there are multiple apps in my Git remotes, I have to create a pipeline tied to a particular app. Now I can tie it to more than one app, but I can't just create it without it being tied to an app. All right, so let's try that. But we'll leave out the other switch. So we'll tie it to app and we'll leave out the dash dash stage. Okay, so now we can, so this is my regular one, so yep, production is good. So it'll just ask you which one you want. Oh, okay, perfect. So that prod was not a valid selection. So it said it was creating it, but it wasn't actually creating it because I didn't choose uh, the correct stage. So that's good to know. If you're having problems, you can just leave it out, and then it'll give you like a more interactive prompt to kind of make things easier. Okay, so now let's add to that pipeline. All right, I'm running out of time here, kind of quick. Okay, so we gotta say what the pipeline is we want to add things to, and then we'll gotta say what we want to add. So we want to add an app, and we want to add uh, the staging environments. And now we can do this dash dash stage, but I think it's a little bit easier to leave it out, and then it'll give you a interactive prompt. Oh, I missed a dash. Okay, so now from this interactive prompt, we can select staging. Don't got to worry about giving it the correct syntax or anything like that. Okay, so um, now let's promote the staging environments to the production environments. So we still got a difference here. So let's see if this works. Succeeded. But succeeded does not always mean that it succeeded. So let's see what succeeded actually means. It means that it succeeded. All right. Okay. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. What a nightmare. And I did it with minutes to spare too. I feel very good about that. Okay, so that's good. This troubleshooting just took one extra video. I might end it a little bit early, just so it's a little bit cleaner to come back and start here. And I don't know really what I can do with an extra 5 minutes. So let's kind of get this under our fingers a little bit better, and go back through the pipeline. Use the next 5 minutes to do another change. Um, and kind of get that under our fingers a little bit better. Um, and then um, and then that'll be the end of the video. In the next one, we will go ahead and uh, move on with to the tutorial. Okay, so let's make another edit. Then we'll push it to staging, and then after we do that, we'll promote it to master. Okay. We'll say it. I am awesome and got everything to work. Okay, and then so now we just need to do our regular um, Git workflow. So we can see we've got a modified file that's not yet staged for commit. So to do that, we do git add. Do another git status. We see we've got a modified file, but now it is staged for commit. So let's do that. Let's commit it. And then final modification before moving on with tutorial. Okay, and now last step, we gotta push it. All right, so here's the big moment of truth. Boom! I am awesome and got everything to work. So yep, everything looks like it's spelled right. So we're good to promote that to production. If I spelled awesome incorrectly, that'd be really embarrassing. And it would have just been out there live right now for all the customers and everyone to see. So really important to have that staging environment. But since everything looks good to go, we can now promote it to production. So we're going to promote our staging environments, which automatically brings it into production. We don't have to specify that we want it to go production. It knows that it's going to go there just by the fact of it promoting it. And there we go. I am awesome and got everything to work. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we learn about managing settings and secrets for different environments.